Hello, Rao. Can you hear me? 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 Hello. Can you hear me, Rao? Harish, can you hear me? Harish, can you hear me?
Your voice is not audible to me.
Okay, I can hear you, Harish. Harish, can you hear me? Rao, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now it is okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now okay. Now okay. Can you hear me, Rao?
Yeah. I am hearing you. What about my voice?
You go ahead. I will make a few members, panel members. Just give me 1 minute. Let the people join. Okay, is that okay, Rao?
And you give me the permission to share my
Access, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Doing the Rao, are you there? Can you, who are the members who want to become a panel members? Can you suggest?
Yeah, one is Sanjay and you and myself, 3 members.
Any other member you want to make members?
Yeah.
Please, we'll start in 1 to 2 minutes. So just wait for a few members to join. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
So you got this final draft from Niti Aayog site about the logistics policy. Okay.
Yeah, final draft I have received.
Okay. So is that something like coming a plan or what? What is the thing? Is that infrastructure plan?
No, it is already Prime Minister has been released on 17th. The same
So he
thing.
is released. Okay.
Yeah, is already
Same
released. That is considered a gazette order. Gazette order means that will be implemented.
Government. Okay.
Government
order.
Just like a government order. Gazette is nothing but government order.
Government of India officially releasing that. Correct?
Yeah. So they
per that one only the. Yeah.
Now it is.
Can you share that link? Link also.
Yeah, I will share that. Okay. 1 minute.
Okay, you see, check whether you can, get into the PowerPoint presentation mode. Can you check whether you can?
Yeah.
Okay. So before we start the thing, can you go to the initial slide? So.
Which one? The
initial slide. Make a PPT format, bigger format, slide format.
Yeah. Okay, it is visible to you?
Yeah, it is visible to everybody. I just introduce to the members. Uh,
Hmm.
so, welcome to this session webinar on new logistics policy 2022 challenges and opportunities by Mr. Professor Rangarao. He is a veteran leader in supply chain, and he was last 20 more than 2 decades. He worked in exclusively in the procurement department in various companies, including Andhra Sugars and other chemical engineering and even engineering companies across the country. So he had a vast experience in procurement and basically developing suppliers. And he involved in many things like logistics while handling the suppliers. So logistics related and related like internal inbound logistics, outbound logistics in factories, in chemical factories. So a lot of things he has gained over a period, at least more than 3.5 decades after his, specialization in from industrial, in industrial engineering from SVU College of Engineering. So he is a basically mechanical engineer, and he has specialization in industrial engineering and tech industrial specialization. So with this few words, I introduce Mr. Rangarao. Mr. Rangarao also a professor in engineering colleges and also visits many engineering colleges in the Hyderabad area. So I request Professor Rao, uh, you know, highlight some of the things, professional achievements is something I need. So please go ahead, Rao.
Okay, so thank you, Raju, for introduction. Nice introduction. And today we are going to discuss about the National Logistics Policy 2022 challenges and opportunities. And this was released by our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji on 17 September. So the basis is actually the draft was started in 2019 because of the COVID-19. They have not reviewed, and recently they have reviewed and revised the entire draft, and they have taken into an order. And Government of India has already released the order. I will share the government gazette of the National Logistics Policy at the end of the session, so that everybody can access that one. So the main purpose of this logistics policy is to increase the efficiency and effectiveness. So many supply chain management problems are the delivery issues and also lot of compliances. So compliance in the sense government regulations. Suppose you want to import some of the food grains, or if you want to export the pharmaceutical or engineering items. So a lot of procedure is there. You have to get the IEC number, and you have to go through the DGST, and you have to go to the customs, and you have to go to the various trade representatives. So there are cumbersome procedures there. And in order to simplify the export and import, and also the movement of the goods from one state to another in a seamless supply, the policy has been aimed. Okay, and when you look into the logistics, why is so important is, so the value of the logistics in India is around $160 billion, and it is going to expand around 10% in 2022. And because of the congestion at the ports, and because of the bad roads and the poor air and port connectivity, and inadequate utilization of the railways and waterways. So these are some of the issues are there. And India is growing, and it will handle about 4.6 million tons of goods, which is translated into 9.5 lakh crores business. So in order to do that, first you have to understand the there is a one is called the Tata Steel. So Tata Steel has been transported one of the material from the China to the
from China to India, correct?
China to India. So I have given one example of multimodal transport. So multimodal transport where they can make use of the sea, road, rail, and the water. So these are the multimodal transport. Okay, multimodal transport is a reality. So I will tell one example. When I was working in Andhra Sugar, so we have sourcing the salt. Salt is the raw material for caustic soda because Andhra Sugar is a very big chemical complex is there near Rajahmundry. So it is daily we required around 1,000 tons of salt. So we are getting from the salt from the one is on southern coast like Tuticorin, and the other one is the western coast like Gujarat and Rajasthan. We are having a salt field will be there. So what we have done is earlier we are transport to railways or to lorries. So we have tried to shipping the entire 45,000 tons in a single ship transported from Gujarat to the Kakinada. From Kakinada, it transported to rail, and again we are unloaded at our godown at Kovur. So these are some of the examples. Similarly, the Tata Steel has done the Karimnagar, that is Kalinganagar plant in the cargo is 100 tons, which is traveling around 8,005 kilometers. So they are using the canal route to reach to the site. And similar has been happens for the supply of the food grains from Patna to Guwahati, which is also crossed to Bangladesh and again reached to the final destination. So they have traveled around 2,500. Why I'm telling all these examples is, so multimodal transport is a reality. So it need not depend on either road or a rail or anything on that. So whenever we are having an advantage, so we can make use of the multimodal transport. Okay. And Indian logistics and industry is fragmented, and there is a 14% GDP, which is the logistics cost involved, whereas developed countries around 10%, and there are lack of finance also one of the drawback, and there are many complaints and documentation is there. For example, if you want to import and exports, it will take around 264 hours. So these are some of the issues at present. So this can be minimized once the new logistics policy came into existence. Okay, and if you see the World Logistics Performance Index, so India is ranked around 44, and the score is 3.18, whereas Germany and Sweden placing first and second role. This is based on the how much the speed delivery at the ports, so they will be make an index. So our index is 44 when compared to the Germany and Sweden. And there are various types of freight transport will be there. So the main purpose of the transport is to moving goods, and this will be depending on the whether the transport is a dry or it is a wet or it is a refrigerated or it is a break bulk. So depending on the type of product, for example, steel, it is a long products will be there. And if you see the coal, so it is a heavy, huge volume. And if you see the fertilizers, so these are the depending on the type of commodity, you have to select which transport you want. So that is the first thing. Second is the distance, how much it should be traveled. So it is 50 kilometers, 100 or 200 kilometers. You have to decide. Based on that one, you have to select the mode of transport, whether it is a rail or a road or a sea or whatever it is there, or where or pipeline. For example, pipeline. Why the pipeline is so easy is the slurry. For example, the slurry which is coming to the Vizag steel plant, iron slurry. So instead of having railway wagon, it is a less costly when transported to the pipeline. So there is a pipeline is laid down from Bailadila mines to Vizag steel plant, and SR steel plant also is having another pipeline. So they are transport the entire the raw material of the iron ore. These two companies, which is the cost effective. So depending on the type of material, distance, you can select the mode of transport. Okay. And what is the present system is which is very expensive. Expensive in the sense logistics are very expensive. Why? Because we are moving into a road which is more expensive because of the fuel cost is increasing, and is also more polluting, and it is unoptimized. These are the present issues. And future, there is a shift from the present system to one is the cost effective, clean environment and optimized. Because many EV vehicles are coming to picture, then the clean environment plays an important role. So even if you see the Amazon and Flipkart, so they want to introduce the EV vehicles for delivery of the goods, which is already there. So that is called clean. And also you have to make the optimization by combination of the various modes of transport and cost effective. So these are the characteristics of a new price paradigm when compared to the old one. Okay. And if you look into the cost of different cost structure, so rail, it is around 1.6 rupees per ton kilometer. It is the road, it is 3.6 rupees per ton kilometer. Waterway is only 2. And if you see the air, it is 18 and pipeline is 2. So when you see the chart, so rail and the waterways is the least expensive when compared to the road and air. Air is the highly cost expensive. And here you cannot lift the heavyweight items or bulk items. So either we have to go for a rail or road. So even now, some of the automobile companies, they are also looking into the railways. Why? Because they can be carried the more number of the vehicles when compared to the road. So for example, road will carry somewhere around 40 to 80 tons, whereas the railway will carry around 200 to 300 tons. So there is a difference, and the volume will be increasing, and the cost will be automatically reduced.
For one vehicle or for one trailer, what is the thing?
Yeah, one trailer, suppose one trailer, it will take 70 tons, for example, by road. If you transport the scooters and cars, the same can be replaced with the railway wagons. It is somewhere around 200 to 300 tons. You can carry.
Okay, it is more cost effective.
Yeah, more cost effective and more volume will be there. So when compared to the road. So already the Maruti and other companies, Mahindra and Mahindra, they are using the railway as the alternative than the road, so that they can volume will be increased. Okay. And the disadvantage of the air is only you can make the small shipments, and it is very costly affair. And if you look into the waterways, it is less costly and you can move more quantity. And the pipeline, where I have already told some of them. So we have to make which transport which will be better, either road or railways, waterways. So you make an evaluation and you make a judgment based on the cost and that. And also there is a CO2 emissions will be there. So you have to follow the CO2 emissions, flexibility, etc. Okay. And these are, air is the most costly affair when compared to the water. So water is the least expensive. In the x-axis, the speed, reliability and flexibility. In y-axis, cost. So the flexibility road is the highest and the air is also highest, but the cost is very high when compared to that. Okay. And if you look into the logistics cost, so the transportation cost is around 62%. Administration 4%, whereas the other one is 34%. Okay. So these are, you have to look into the transportation cost is the main contributor to the logistics. That's why try to optimize this cost is very important. Okay. And some of the best examples is the UK and the Sweden and USA, Spain and India. These are there, they can make use of the transportation practices where you can adopt the technology.
Is India also listed in
India
the
also there is called a porter. Okay, porter, they are using the digital transformation, and another company called Delivery. So Delivery is a startup company which is having a head office in New Delhi. It is an IIT startup company. So they are also make use of a digital transformation. So all are digitally connected so that you can able to find out where you can identify the location where your consignment will be loaded. Yeah. So you can see the entire the journey of your from the last mile delivery from the point of delivery, from the point of sourcing to destination. So this is also there. Okay. Then if you look into the Niti Aayog has given a report, which is the first one is the rationalization of the tariffs is very important, and create a entire repository for all transportation data and enhance the efficiency of the warehouse. And these are the some of the what is called the strategy has been given in Niti Aayog report, and accordingly 2019 the first draft has been placed, which is basically the basis for the new logistics policy 2022. So this is the basis 2019. So they have given an effective and efficient logistics system, and there is called a transparency and consistency, and want to reduce the logistics cost from 13 to 14% to 9 to 10%. And also there are different types of ministers are involved in the transport, logistics, and for creating the value chain, like civil aviation, road transport, highways, finance. So there are different, so all can be integrated, like a Germany and Malaysia, what they are doing. So they want to make an integrated approach. So this was drafted in 2019. And some of the budgets also they have supported for logistics sector, and they, because of the GST, so there is a turnaround time has been reduced, and also there is called a cluster approach will be there. Okay, there is a cluster approach, and viable gap funding also supported for warehousing, and there is called a geotagging of all warehouse. These are all some of the budget support as given into 2023 budget. And also they have encouraged for cold chain for the fish and perishable commodities and the refrigerated vans. And the Krishi trains already they have started in the COVID-19 itself. So they have transported the entire agriculture commodities to various when the lockdown is there, Krishi trains has delivered a lot of food grains from north to south, south to west, and etc. Okay, and also there is called Enam, they have introduced, and there is called a Gati Shakti. So Gati Shakti, where the importance of the roads, railways, and the airports, so they already taken place. These are the some of the highlights of the budget, which is already taken place. And what is a national logistics policy? Is basically this was released in 17th September by our Honorable Prime Minister. The policy is aimed at bring down the logistics cost and addressing challenges, both imports and exports. And also they want to make the logistics cost reduced to 14 to 15% GDP to 8% for next 5 years. So presently the logistics cost is around 14 to 15% of the GDP. So they want to reduce to 8% in next 5 years. And India lost around 16% of the agriculture products. For example, if you see some of the perishable commodities, which is valued around 45,000 crores, the food grains or the agri commodities has wasted because of the inefficiency in the logistics system. So now, once you have a multimodal transport, so automatically this can be reduced. Okay, and the policy is also aimed to reduce the losses when you transport the perishable commodities like milk and other perishable commodities, etc. Okay, and some of the okay. So what is the highlights in the national logistics policy is the First one is the Unified Logistics Interface Platform. So this is an integrated digital platform. It is a single portal, both the export and import, where they can integrate the entire 200 shipping agencies, 36 logistics service providers, 129 inland container depot, and the other IT systems and banks, etc. So they will integrate the entire, for example, ports will be there in Chennai, Calicut, in other Calcutta, Visakhapatnam, and the other one. So all the what is inland container depots will be integrated, and even banks and IT will be integrated, and they will be making called a digital system, integrated digital system, where you can integrate the entire road, railways, customs, aviation, etc. And also, suppose you want to complain any problems, so there is called e-log system. So e-log will address the problems faced by the various importer and exporter, and as well as inland transport. And there is a group of ministers will look into the efficiency of these systems. Okay, these are some of the highlights in a new logistics policy. One is the Unified Logistics Interface Platform, where they integrate the entire warehouses, logistics, containers, freight stations, etc., and integrated digital system. And for any complaints, you can have a e-log, and also there is called a system improvement groups will be there. Okay, and they are also using the artificial intelligence and blockchain, and there is called a data analytics center. So data analytics center, the main purpose is the transparency, and also we can monitor the entire logistics matrices. And if you see 20 government agencies and 40 partner government agencies, 34, 37 export promotion councils, and there are different certification agencies can be integrated, and the value is around $160 billion. Okay, so if you look into the size of the entire complexity of this process, and all will be integrated, and 40 air cargo terminals will be constructed already for exports, and there are 30 airports will be provided for cold storage facility. So one of the largest cold store facility is available in the GMR in Hyderabad. So they are transport the pharmaceutical. Okay, they are having a cold store facility will be there. So they will be seamlessly supplying to various. They are supplying to around 170 countries for all pharma. So if you look into the vaccine, so how the vaccine has been distributed by Bharat Biotech because of the cold store facility which is available in the airports. And also there are 35 multi-modal hubs are coming. So there is a possibility of bringing the multi-modal hubs. For example, if you look into the Nagpur is the center of the India. So from there you can distribute the entire the material from there, and similarly Hyderabad, Bangalore. So Bangalore also having the largest logistics hub. So there are many facilities that are exporting of the IT and also exporting of the software and hardware, and also some of the textiles. So which is having a Tirupur and the Coimbatore, the Bangalore belt. So they will be integrated. So this is one of the multimodal transport. This is the coming up. Okay, so if you look into the transportation, so the presently it is around 6% of the cost. They want to reduce the 4%. So warehousing cost is around 3.5. They want to reduce 2.5. And inventory is 2.5 to 1, and order processing 1. And some of the bulk material like the cement and steel and fertilizers. So what happens? So fertilizers and the coal and the cement, so these bulk materials, so they have a different indenting system will be there, and these railways also they want to modify the what is called the rake size. They want to replace the present steel into a aluminum, so that the more weight will be carried, and these are some of the issues already taken for bulk materials like cement, steel, fertilizers. So one of the disadvantages is the empty racks. For example, empty racks will be there. Once the material goes fertilizers, for example, fertilizers coming from Karimnagar to some other place. So there is, when the return wagon is coming up, so it will be empty. So empty is also should be loaded so that there is a effective utilization of the boxes will be there. So that is another important. And some of the logistic issues like infra, digital will be there. And another is the efficiency and sustainability. And these are the focus area. And also, Government of India is already introduced FASTag. Similarly, there is called a Vahan. And all the e-way bills, they are integrated so that you can able to find out, you can able to locate where is your the transport material will be there. Okay. And there is a 30 data centers will be there, all will be integrated. Then what are the opportunities? Opportunity is the use of the containers for the movement of the food as well as the fertilizers, linking of the rail and road. And main use is the Food Corporation of India and the other one is the fertilizers. So they are using for movement of the food grains as well as the movement of the fertilizers. They are the bulk consumer for the railway. And another is the accessible for the MSME and unified logistics interface portal, which is the opportunity for the startup. Suppose if you want to digitalize the transactions, it is a very good opportunity for startups where you can make use of a portal for creating the digitalization. And you can also track and trace consignment on real time. And you can also integrate the entire railway freight operations, etc. Okay. And possible to create a multimodal transport zone and warehouses. For example, so you can able to create a warehouses for a food grains and a farmer produce. For example, if you see the Ambajipeta in East Godavari, so they are having a agri commodity will be there. Like so, these can be transported. They can provide the warehouse facility. For example, mangoes, which is mainly produced in Chittoor district in Andhra Pradesh. So they can have a regional warehouses where they can store and you can move the materials at a faster rate. So you can see the some of the Karnataka and the Mumbai and the other one the Gujarat. So they already started some exporting of the bananas, for example. Okay, banana is exporting to some of the UK and UAE and the other one. So these are the opportunities which are available for agri-produce. Agri-produce is a huge scope for use of the multimodal transport. And also there is a state-specific logistics plan is there. So each state having their own policy will be there. So they will attract the various agencies to set up their logistics parks in their states. Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and other all already they have drafted their master plan. And they want to reduce the commodity price and also benefiting the industry, farmers and consumers. And the logistics policy, if you look into that, Malaysia is already implemented in 2006 to 2020. Okay, and they are using the digital technology for movement of the goods. And some of the best practices, if you see, one is the Port in Hamburg in Germany, and another is the Quindo New Quian. It is in China. So they are using the robots and they are using the best practice for this one. Yeah. And the other, some of the vision by the National Infrastructure Pipeline is drafted in 2020. Okay. So what are the sectors? One is the road, railways, ports and airports. Okay. So these are, they want to integrate the entire road, railways, ports and airports. One is the last mile delivery, another is the sustainability, another is the digital, and another is the disaster resilience and leverage the technology. So this is the vision for the the Department of Economic Affairs, they have drafted in 2020. So how to integrate the entire infrastructure to improve the logistics sector, road, railways, ports and airports. So they are given a roadmap. Already FASTag is implemented, already RFID is included, online ticketing already there. There is a building resilience will be there against risk, and also technology where you can able to identify the traffic management, biometric boarding, and smart cameras, and use of the robotics, etc. Okay, and there is a emphasis on the waterways. Okay, so you want to reduce the logistic cost and time. Okay, waterways is not potentially exploited in India. So if you look into the Europe, so main transport is the waterways. Our is the main transport is the road. So waterways is the least cost when compared to other one. So what is the present is 5.89 million kilometers, whereas $10.2 trillion, and this is about the current status. They want to make it as 0.19 million kilometers and the high share of the private sector and last mile connectivity. So these are some of the issues. They want to make use of the ports and waterways to reduce the logistic cost and time. And according to the McKinsey report 2021, digital logistics is a reality, which happens once you logistics policies come into that. One is integrated logistics platform we are talking about, where you can integrate the entire supplier, consumers, logistics service provided in one platform. Telematics, where you can monitor the entire cargo digitally on a real time. And there is called a digital logistics control towers, which can capture the data and use the blockchain technology for transparent bank transactions, shipments, etc. Using the cognitive logistics process automation, real-time planning, then augmented reality, where you can identify the how to improve the pick and place. Errors can be minimized by using augmented reality, and also there is called a autonomous mobile robots. Okay, these are some of the digital logistics which are coming to picture when you talking about the national logistics policy. And what are the challenges is there is a competition between the states for attracting the various agencies, and second is the infrastructure. So there is a large investment will be coming up next 5 years for development of the warehouse, multimodal logistics parks, and development of the roads and etc. and warehouse management. And another big area is the skill development, because many logistics service providers, they don't know how to do the material handling, how to do the supply chain, how to do the supply chain risk, then how to de-risking, etc. So there is a huge opportunity for the development of the skill development centers, which is coming up for the next 5 years. This is an opportunity for the educational institutions, warehouse management infrastructure, where the states can create an opportunity for development of the infrastructure. Okay, so I have taken some of the references for repeating. One is the Economic Times, Hindu Business Line, Niti Aayog, and another is the KPMG and direct report for preparing my report. Okay, so thank you. So, yeah. I'll stop sharing.
Rao, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So thank you for your presentation. Is that you want to take questions now from the audience, or do you want to have some discussion, panel discussion on some of the issues? What is your plan?
Yeah. You have.
Can you invite? Can you invite the panel members for the panel discussion?
Yeah. Can you call the Sanjay? Is there?
Okay. Sanjay sir, are you there, sir? Sanjay sir, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Sanjay sir is there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So any other member you want to invite?
Yeah, because I have not seen the members list. Okay. You can initiate, no problem. Yeah, you can initiate.
No, whoever you want to call the members, selected members, we will allow them.
Only 3 members will be there. Yes.
Okay. Please go ahead and start the discussion. You mentioned many things like comparison, about the developed economy, Indian economy. 15% is logistic cost, total cost in a part of a GDP, and in a developed country it is something like 10%, 9 to 10% in a developed country. So is it something similar, like multi-mode systems are operative there, or they are having a very, in US, I see myself, there is absolutely no rail network, and it's a vast country. We are saying in India, reverse way, like rail is the best mode of transport here. But how US is able to achieve that type of logistics efficiency without having a road network? That is my thing. Probably in the discussion we can answer those things. So it's
actually, if you look into the Europe and USA, there are two different things. One, Europe is the more use of the waterways than the roadways. So they are all connected with the rivers. And the when you compare the USA, so road and rail are the fastest mode of transport when compared to the waterways. Okay, so that is the only the difference. It is something like 60% in Europe on water, remaining 40. Similarly, in USA it is 60% in railway and road, and 40% is other mode of transport. The roads is already developed in early, I think.
Okay.
So that is one thing. Second is India is developed after the Atal Bihari Vajpayee. They have started the
quadrilateral.
That is in 2002. So it is it changed the entire structure of the road scenario. So earlier it takes from Vijayawada to Hyderabad taken around 14 hours earlier. So now it is only hardly 5 hours. So earlier it will take 8 hours, 10 hours. So
there is something called Sagarmala. Sagarmala is integrated.
Yeah, Sagarmala is connecting the entire that is different actually. This is
Sagarmala is for modernizing the port sector.
Correct.
The major projects are very old. So logistics, the efficiency, to increase the efficiency of the port sector, Sagarmala project has been initiated by the government. Yes.
So how is it integrated? These are all things like quadrilateral and Sagarmala and now Gati Shakti. These are some of the different phases they have taken up. How they are integrated? Is that they consider all this, or is it something like ad hoc way they are doing?
Sir, actually Gati Shakti, all the projects are uploaded in Gati Shakti and they are monitored on real-time basis. So all the ministries who are executing the projects, be it port sector, or be it power sector, or road and highways, they are in touch with each other online on the portal, on the Gati Shakti portal. So in an integrated way, the projects are progressing. It is not that one project will be held up, like let's say in the multimodal scheme. All the things have to come together for the multimodal scheme to be a success. So in Gati Shakti is actually facilitating that from the government side. Yes.
It is just like a platform where intra-ministry coordination happens.
It is a project management platform, basically, of the government.
Okay. So is this whatever you are saying now, logistic policy and Gati Shakti, how these two are connected?
Sanjay, continue, sir.
Actually, the logistics policy starts with a reference to Gati Shakti only. because for the policy to succeed, they have talked of integrating the various modes of transport, and they are encouraging multimodal transport. So for that, infrastructure has to be ready, and in all fronts. So that infrastructure readiness will be given by Gati Shakti, and that's how it finds a place in the logistics policy.
Is there any specific focus on manufacturing sector linked with the logistics? Like, if they are aiming for a exports, larger exports in coming
Yes, sir. Actually, you see, all the importers and exporters, whenever they import or export, the major problem they face is in paperwork and dealing with various ministries, be it or departments, be it customs
Okay.
or DGFT and all that, and also the other movers, like the transporters, the railways. So actually, if you want to move a consignment from a village, if you want to import it or export it, then you have to fill many forms. That is, for booking by railways, you have to fill a separate form. For booking by the truck, you have to fill a separate form. So multiple forms and multiple data have to be entered. Now, they have made a single digital platform in which most of the things will be common. So if you are booking a consignment through multimodal transport, so even till the last mile connectivity, things will be connected, data will be connected. So, you have to only fill possibly 1 or 2 documents to get things across. So that way, regarding the portal, digital portal, MSMEs have to be educated more how to use it, who all and all that. So whether it will be introduced soon. So it will be something like the travel portal. In the travel portal, or when you book an Ola or Uber, you have various choices. You have to go from one point to the other. Similar way, the MSME has to move the goods from one point to another. So he must have the choices available to him on his smartphone. So using those choices and multimodal means, he can book the consignment and he can enter his details, and the same can and the price also will be known to him in advance. So it's a very transparent system, and and things can be done very fast if it is implemented, provided if it is implemented well. Yes.
Yeah, there is a reduction of the complaints, the reduction of the complaints. And
government,
and the data can be shared to multiple platforms. And there is a transparency of the data sharing, like pricing and the delivery and other one. And what is the fastest route we can able to achieve by using the integrated approach. That is called integrated logistics. Yeah. So that is the idea. Yeah.
Okay. So there is one more thing you mentioned. There is something called logistics terminals and the logistics terminals and the logistics parks. What is the difference between these two?
Yeah, logistics terminals can be integrated into the ports. For example, ports can be unloaded the material. They can be stored somewhere else because they cannot be delivered immediately. Like bulk material, like coal, fertilizers, food grains. So there is a terminal where you can store the temporary storage of the material, where you can have the warehouse facility. From there, you can transport the material, like bulk material. Okay, and suppose some agri commodities, for example, so you want to export, so you should be reached to the terminal. From there, you can export to the concerned ship. So there is a possibility of the once you have the facility will be there, so that each case has a development of the terminals as well as the warehouses. And the logistics park, for example, in Hyderabad, they want to build a logistics park somewhere in near Ramoji Film City, where they can integrate the entire logistics service provided at a particular point, so that you can easy to reach there. To various options will be available.
Okay, multimodal connectivity.
Yeah, multimodal, and you can choose the different types of the vehicles. for example, when the logistics park will be
Okay.
there. So, and
Okay.
you can also, like Amazon having a very big warehouse
Yeah.
facility, so they can facilitate the building of a warehouse near the logistics park. That is the idea.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, they have actually thought of a hub and spoke model.
Correct.
Just now you were saying Hyderabad. So actually, what the truckers face, they have to carry back empty truck. So what they will do, you see, suppose Hyderabad will service Mumbai, Cochin, Chennai, and Bangalore, right?
Yeah.
So if a consignment is booked from Mumbai to Chennai, so the truck will first come to Hyderabad. It will be transshipped there to a truck going to Chennai. So actually, it will save the transportation cost, and the
Yeah.
truckers also will get full truckloads very fast. So the logistics movement will be very fast in the hub and spoke model, as they have thought of. Secondly, in as regards warehousing, now they are talking of automated warehousing, where they will use the vertical space. You see, in most of the traditional warehouses, only two-dimensional movement is there, but nobody thinks of the height. But in places like Mumbai and other places, the premium cost is of the area occupied by the store. So there, you can think of vertical movement as is done in Europe and others. Automated warehousing, where automated guided vehicles and pick up and drop of the consignment inside the store will be automatic, and the movement, very few manpower will be there. So all these things are in the pipeline and would be
Okay.
implemented. Yes, yeah, yes.
See, there
Amazon
is
is
something
already
called.
doing. Yeah, yes.
There is these Amazon big companies, e-commerce companies, they are doing on their own, but this is the government side initiative integrating all this, like
Yeah,
facilitating, providing the facilities, sharing the things so
yes,
that
sir.
even a small SME can access those facilities. So
Yeah.
Amazon definitely they
Yeah.
can do on their own. So this is targeting for the especially agriculture and small MSMEs basically to
Yeah.
facilitate. And one more question related to this, basically agriculture. Agriculture, there is something called Kisan Rail. They introduced from each region one
Krishi Vigyan
rail.
train. Krishi.
They
Yeah.
call it Kisan Rail.
Kishan trains, yes.
Kisan train. It goes from the like in southern region, from southern mango growing region, one train goes to cargo goes to like a consumer center like Bombay and Delhi and Kolkata. Like that, they connected across all regions through train network, Kisan Rail. And what I have seen is I have spoken to those some of those guys locally. I went and visited Kisan Rail Center. I have spoken to their coordinator, and they said very nicely, initially they started, the government of India started, okay, anybody can come with some minimum 4 ton load, and we give a very half of the price, market price. If it is 10,000 rupees per ton, and they give a 50% discount for the farmers. So that was the initial thing. So this they started running the trains, this cargo movement in the beginning. After some time, people started replacing these farmers with the agents, because farmers are not having a continuous load. So once again, that middleman came and started occupying that entire thing. Like they move the thing, they take the aggregation they do at the farmers, and the farmers once again become basically part of that supply chain, and there are many agents now. So farmers cannot go to Delhi and sell their produce because one is language problem, and the second one is time. They can't do it. So there is a old system only. They brought back once again back to the thing, and at a cheaper price, the agents are getting, and they are making more profit now. Agents, transport agents, and the traders and other agents. And after some time, what happened? These guys railways and the ministry, they seen entire cost, and they told, okay, reverse logistics. When something going empty train, they want to send that, fill that train with some commodity. So all southern region trains, basically Kisan train, comes with a Kashmiri apple. A lot of consumption happens in the southern state. So at much cheaper rate, they started supplying to that. That optimization they have done, and they told the second problem is the biggest problem is the collapsible, uh, the whatever crates, basically the boxes, collapsible. Like if you are sending a mango or it in a box in a like a 15 kg, 30 kg boxes, it should be collapsible. Otherwise, what happens? It occupies space, empty space while coming also. So they designed a collapsible thing so that they can pack it in one, one bogie and there one container, and they can use other space for the other commodity while coming back to the location. So they try to optimize many things, but still lot can be done through multi-model. Probably those things, multi-model concept, taking that from the main junction to the different consumption points. Also, through road only they can do. So this multi-model concept connectivity between the consumption points and the main, centers, the railway network, is basically work of this
No, no.
railway.
Yeah, the multimodal transport, if you look into the waterways, for example, in Kolkata and Assam and other, no? So water is the main, you can make use of the canals, and that is the main advantage
That is
when
true.
transporting
That is
the
true.
yeah.
Actually, we had some seminars in Calcutta, and they are now exploring the route via Bangladesh to
Yes.
reach to reach the Seven Sisters, Arunachal Pradesh, and others. So actually, the waterways is proving a big boon to this region, because West Bengal is having, sharing border with Bangladesh, Nepal, and Burma, and this Bhutan. Three, not Burma, Bhutan. So 3 countries it is sharing international border, and earlier on the goods used to go through the Siliguri chicken snake to the northeastern states. But now there has been an agreement in which Bangladesh has allowed through waterways transportation of goods, through the Bangladesh, and it will reach the other side, that is, Arunachal Pradesh. So it's thus saving time and saving money. Already there is a barge movement between Calcutta and Bangladesh. Already.
Yeah, probably this hilly regions requires one more way, basically ropeway. Ropeway also can be used like they in a highly complex areas like Himalayan region like Arunachal Pradesh, Kashmir, and other Uttarakhand. There are a lot of things like you can't. They may not be having a waterways. They may not be having a rail network. They may not be having even a road network. So exploring the ropeway is one option for cargo. I'm just asking your opinion. Integrating the ropeways for cargo movement.
Ropeway has not been popular as such. People are now focusing on inland waterways, and of course the usual railway and the road, and the port sector, evacuation by port. So ropeway, to my knowledge, has not been very popular.
Not as popular. Okay, it may not be economically not feasible. To what extent is the pipe transportation is popular? Only the petroleum products or liquid products, or gas or liquid? Any other than that, anything is happening in the pipe?
Yeah, I given an example. No, iron ore slurry, which is coming from Bailadilla to the Vizag steel plant, and also SR steel plant. That is the cost effective when compared to the road and railway. Pipeline is the cheapest. The other one.
Yeah, it is dedicated. So
dedicated. dedicated,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Even
So
crude oil, even crude
Crude
oil is
oil.
also being transported in the west. There is a crude oil pipeline, I think
Okay.
of. So that also is, coming till Mathura refinery from Bombay High
In
Refinery.
in Europe, some cities actually they are having something called underground pipe network to distribute, basically the courier letters and it's through high pressure air. Is that something can be done? Something can be replicated, in other cities also. Like cargo with a small size can be pushed through pipe network. A very high pressure air can be used
No,
to
only cement and mass produced items like cement, slurry, oil.
okay.
Uh, these things can be sent via pipeline.
Oh,
Other things will have lot of friction and lot of compressed. That is the pressure requirements will be very high.
okay.
So
So one more,
only
yeah,
the
one
some
more,
fluid. Yeah. Yes.
yeah, one more question. Yeah,
Yes.
one more question related to this startup space, like a logistics. What type of companies really can emerge from this new policy? What type of companies having a real growth in coming the next 1 decade?
Yeah,
Companies.
yeah. You can have
Which
a
are the
startup
companies
company
really
if you
can
look
grow
at,
fast?
yeah,
Which
you
are the
can see
areas?
yeah, yeah, startup company, they can use the data analytics for capturing the data for the entire,
Yeah.
the cargo movement is there. And the second one is the, already Sanjay sir is told, no, there is a hub and spoke model where you can find out the empty trucks. You can get the
Yeah.
data. Yeah, get the data. It is a huge opportunity for the truck owners
Truck
as well
drivers,
as the
truck operators. Yeah.
truck
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
operator. Yes, yes. And the startup company, they can build the ecosystem so that
Yeah.
they will be again loaded in a certain point. Then again they will be.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll share you one case. Actually, in 2009 or 10, my cousin brother in USA started something company. The name Oper, I've forgotten that name. Actually, that was 2000, 2009, 10, 11. I was in Alliance University. He has started a company which was across the globe. What he did is like all the shipment details used to get, and the occupancy thing ratio, like how much is occupied truck, how much occupied ship, how much occupied thing. The remaining space used to sell. Bidding. Bidding means anybody can purchase that internationally, and they can bid whoever bids that for the space, and that space is allocated for those things. Like every company cannot occupy entire container size, so they maybe need a very little space. So their budget may be very less. So all the flexibility is given online. This was online bidding in 2008, 9, 10. So he was started. He was running 3 years. He was continuously promoting that thing. And after that, I don't know what happens. What happened? Or somebody has taken over that. But that was a fantastic thing. Logistics cost. You get a lot of choice for shipment online. So you can get all options like trucks. Where the space available. You get a ships where the
Yeah,
space.
Raju, in India also it happens because many truck owners are small players. Okay, they can consolidate the requirement when you have
Consolidate, aggregation.
aggregate the demand, aggregate the commodities, and the movement will be faster because
Yeah.
according to the Economic Times report, there are 60 to 70% of the truck owners are small players. They are not a large players. Okay.
That is one big opportunity.
Yeah, there is a big opportunity for these. They can make use of the empty trucks productively. Yeah,
and
even
there are
railways
many.
also. Yeah, railways also the same problem. Empty trucks will be there. Whenever the fertilizer is unloaded, food grains are unloaded, again they will take the another material in the reverse direction.
Yeah.
So that both the direction they can have a loading, automatically their
Yeah,
efficiency will be increased and their revenue will be increased. Double the rate, double the income. That is the idea.
Okay. So there are many other areas like one is the standardization of transportation trucks in case of road transportation. So how this standardization, hub and spoke model, the organized way of doing the things, how it actually reduces the total cost for a lorry owner. Is there any study on that?
No, there are. FICCI has studied how the logistics sector has been improved in, I think, 2 years
You
before.
hope you understood my question. The
I
standardization
understood,
will be-
and so here already there is a system is there. You cannot say there is no system here. Here integration is not there. So because they are into the in a decentralized mode, now they want to make a centralized like waterways, railways, and the trucks and other, so that any commodity at any place you can make use of a multimodal transport. Why the multimodal transport? Suppose food grains up to Patna, you can make use of the railway. From Patna to use of Ganga River to the other Kolkata, for example, by using the waterways. From waterways to again make use of a local trucks. So there is a possibility of the various options will be there now by integrating the entire system. That is the idea. The idea is not only the only road, only railway. So
Is that
this will have.
I'm just
Yeah.
my question is when you integrate so many things, there
Uh,
may be a lot of people will be basically out of work. If you try to improve the thing, there are many unorganized truck owners, small truck owners. They may lose their jobs. Is that study? Is anything is done? Study on that, and how to
no,
redeploy those resources.
no, the truck owners lost the job because of their capacity. That means their truck is an empty. Okay, when the truck is not an empty,
Yeah.
automatically the income will be increased. There is no question of the loss of the job. They increase the income
Yeah.
of these fellows. That is the idea.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will improve
Okay,
the efficiency. Yeah.
Once you improve the time, suppose the delivery time instead of 48 hours, if you deliver in 24 hours, another.
Okay, so last one more question. Probably after that we'll allow participants to ask questions. So there is I was thinking like a lot of this logistics companies not having
Okay,
a
any question?
yeah. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Go ahead, Rao. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Any questions
will
from the
open-
participant? Can you take up?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll if any participants wants to ask questions, anything related to today's presentation, please go ahead. We will allow you to speak. If you raise your hand, we can unmute you, and please go ahead and ask. Otherwise, you can write in a chat box. We will try to answer. So anybody wants to ask questions? Anybody, our panel members, you can ask. So anything specific to, anything about laws? See, I was just trying to ask you, what is the next thing you are going to take second, third session on this thing? Any specific thing you are going to?
This is
come up with
only an
that?
introductory class for understanding what is the national logistics policy. Then in the second series, we can able to understand what is a multimodal transport, and what are the opportunity for warehouse management, how the MSME owners can be benefited by using. We can have the second and third series will be there. So you can
Okay.
contact, yeah. So this is only a starting point where the basic understanding of the what is the government has been legislation there. Only we have discussed the certain points. In the next series, how we can make use of these resources for agri commodities, value creation, and how to create a agri value chain. These are some of the issues will be discussed in the next series.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so any questions? If there is
Yeah,
no
I
question,
think
then,
one
yeah.
has raised the earlier.
Yeah. Any questions?
Has raised in between.
Members want to share? No, any query and you want a.
Yeah, any queries you can ask them to put it in the chat.
Yeah. If you have any questions, please send us info@itqc.in. We will try to route those things to the concerned panel members, and they will respond to you directly. And if you need any help understanding the thing, any links, anything, Professor Rao and Mr. Sanjay sir, Professor even Sanjay sir also is a professor now. Professor Sanjay sir, Sanjay Mukherjee, we can share all the related information.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rao. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Can we close? Okay. So we are closing the session. Thank you.
Yeah, Raju, you can allow.
Yeah. Tell me, Rao. Can you hear me, Rao? Can we close? Rao, anything you want to ask?